Hi, Rachel. My name is Kelsey, and I am responding to your discussion board post on the fish. I chose to reply to your discussion board because some of the thoughts that you had shared were different than what I had, and you gave me a new perspective on the story of the fish overall and its relativity to the qualitative research. And so I really appreciated that and you helping me to understand qualitative research in a different light. So I thank you for that. The main point that you provided for that was in your first paragraph when you said that this story was a metaphor for qualitative research, and you used that supplemental reference of Duke's to really support yourself in saying how it starts out and throughout this process it moves along to gain data, utilizing the researcher as the key component and or the key instrument, and how he utilized different methods and he had to limit his biases and stuff. And so I think you saying that sparked in me some of the different things that I had singled out, how it actually really wraps around in general, because I was looking at it more for pinpointing different things versus as a whole. So I appreciated you bringing that to light for me. One of the same things we did point out, as I had said, was that you talked about the researcher being the key instrument in the research. And I had also identified that as a comparison to qualitative research, since that's something that our text has talked about, as this is the student was the key instrument to the research. He had to utilize his observations and drawings that he had came up with, and then comparing and contrasting to other specimens that were like the fish, just to report back to his professor on his research. So that was definitely one of the same things that we had picked up on. Something that we did not share the same was that I had looked at different things in a different light of picking up on different biases and potential ethical dilemmas. The researcher in the fish had noted how he was off put by the smell early on, and he felt like he needed everything he needed to know about the fish within the first couple minutes of observing it. And for me, that brought up, there's a lot of times in research, especially through observations and so forth, or interviewing people, we're getting to know them, that our own biases come up or these cultural differences come up, and it could become an ethical issue to where we're not recognizing them or we're entering those into our data. And so I think that was something that I picked up on for the beginning as well. For the beginning of the story of the fish was, that could have been something that is also, again, in qualitative research, that we want to be aware of those things and make sure that they're not getting put into our research, and so forth. So that was one difference that you and I had within our post. But one thing, again, you had picked out a lot of other different things that I didn't, that I appreciated. So the other thing that you had talked about was the concept of reflexivity, and how it told, the student's background and experience and so forth, which was something that I also did not grasp when reading the story. I understood it, that, this was him telling a story of himself prior to, doing the research he wanted, and it was the beginning of his journey. However, I didn't really compare it to the actual concept that you had. So I appreciated that, of being able to put a term to, this term name of qualitative research, and actually being able to see the connection there. So I appreciated that from your post as well. Overall, I really enjoyed reading it. I liked your supplemental reference in there to really give truth to what you were saying. And I really enjoyed reading about your perspectives that you took on it versus mine. I look forward to working with you further in this class.